Deputy Speaker, I rise to speak in favour of the amendments moved by the member for Barton. And there are a couple of key reasons why. These amendments seek to ensure that the government does not cut the coronavirus supplement by Christmas. These amendments also seek to deliver a permanent increase to the base rate of JobSeeker, so we do not see people looking for work living in poverty on $40 a day. These amendments also seek to retain the ongoing powers to keep paying the coronavirus supplement after the 31st of March 2021 and retain the ongoing powers to make other beneficial changes to the taper rates, income tests and eligibility criteria after the 31st of March. The reason why these amendments are so critical and necessary is because of two reasons. The first that I wish to highlight is we are not yet through the pandemic. Until we have a vaccination and until the world is immunised, we still face the risk of our community and our economy going through periodic periods of shutdown to try and keep people safe. We are quite lucky and have worked hard in Victoria to be through our second wave, and we are now in a COVID-safe environment. We have worked hard as a community and as a society to ensure not only the health of individuals, but together are now starting to work to open businesses and the economy. That is only because we have worked together that we're able to do that. But cutting back the support, as the government proposed to do, by Christmas will hurt that recovery. Will hurt that recovery because businesses who rely upon customers getting the higher rate will soon see those customers disappear, making the recovery longer than it needs to be, putting thousands of local jobs at risk. It will also make it very hard for these families. As we have seen recently with other clusters and outbreaks in South Australia and in Sydney, this hasn't just happened in Victoria. Whilst we still have Australians returning from overseas who could quite possibly be infected with coronavirus, we are at risk. And that is why it is too soon for this government to be withdrawing support. We are still at risk of second, third and fourth waves, just like we are seeing in countries all over the world. So that is why it is premature for this government to be winding back support, because we don't know when the next outbreak will be. We are prepared. We are trying to do all we can to stop a second, third or fourth wave, and that is why the government is ill-advised to be cutting back support now. It's also the timing at which they're cutting back support right before Christmas. Talking to so many people in our community, the welfare agencies, what they are telling me in my community, that this year there are less people, their regulars aren't seeking as much support. The extra support that they've received from the coronavirus supplement has meant that they have been able to put a little bit away for Christmas. There are less people asking for toys from Uniting this year. But they do have some new families asking for toys, people who did not get access to appropriate support through JobSeeker because of partner income, or they did not get access to JobKeeper and they have now lost their jobs. Again, an area where the government is letting down the community. The other part that is so critical to this amendment is calling for a permanent increase to the base rate of JobSeeker. I cannot believe that the government is putting forward the real proposition in these bills that come March 2021, everyone on JobSeeker will drop back to $40 a day. Yes, it was a temporary measure that they introduced, but what we have seen through this introduction of this temporary measure is how vital this extra support is, how it actually lifts people up out of poverty, how it allows people to have the dignity, the security of a roof over their head and food on their table, and then the opportunity to look for work if there are jobs available. Another point I wish to point out to the government about why we need to lift this rate and lock it in ongoing. Our jobs market has not returned to what it was prior to the pandemic. They may gloat about figures and national headline figures, but the lived experience on the ground is very different. Yes, there are lots of hospitality jobs, insecure, part-time, flexible jobs that look for people who can work nights and weekends, not suitable for a single mum who may not have appropriate care arrangements, not suitable for older workers who may have worked their entire life in another industry and don't have those skills. We've also got to make sure that any support in JobSeeker is linked to a proper training program. I note that all the jobs that are on advertised, very few of them are entry-level jobs. All of them are seeking highly skilled workers. If you're someone who's working in an industry that's been shut down, like the arts, entertainment and events sector, it's hard for you to be able to transition into a hospitality job like chef or barista work without having the appropriate training. You will need access to a decent rate of JobSeeker whilst you undertake that training. That is where the government is not thinking holistically about how we can help people who may want to transition into other industries. You need a decent JobSeeker payment whilst you're retraining for the other jobs that may exist. This is what the government isn't doing. They are running their entire policy based upon short-term economic outcome and their own budget, and not on long-term job security, economic security, and a long-term building resilience into our local communities and economies. I just wanted to highlight some of the lived experiences of people in my electorate, what they've gone through in the recent months, and what it would mean to them if these cuts went through, particularly if they went back to $40 a day, as the government is proposing. First of all, there's a fabulous volunteer at the Eaglehawk Community House. These are the people the government are attacking when they cut these payments. She worked tirelessly through the period of lockdowns and restrictions in Victoria. The Eaglehawk Community House made over 15,000 meals, and she was responsible for cooking all of them. On JobSeeker, not quite old enough yet to retire, struggling to find work with the skill set that she has, she volunteers at the Eaglehawk Community House. And when the pandemic hit and we faced restrictions and we had some little clusters break out in Bendigo, she cooked meals, 15,000 meals she cooked to help her community, and did it with the support of JobSeeker, yes, but as a volunteer for the Eaglehawk Community House. This is who the government is attacking when they cut these payments. Someone who's volunteered so much of her own time to help our community, particularly the most vulnerable, when things were tough, when people were living at home and in isolation. There's also Peter who spoke to my office and to myself about the extra payments, meaning he could buy some warmer clothes this winter, some shoes that could fit and some extra food. It even meant that he could fill up his car without feeling guilty. He didn't have to plan where he was going based upon the petrol that he had. He said that it may not seem like much to most, but to him it was a lifeline. As someone who had worked hard their whole life until they experienced some health issues, finding himself unemployed and needing support from the government was already hard. But then to live in poverty on the old Newstart rate was absolutely heartbreaking. He was grateful for the increase because he was able to purchase the things he wouldn't have been able to do so. It's also improved his mental health because he is not sitting at home stressing about money. JobSeeker should be more like the pension. It should be a way in which it helps secure people, particularly those who've worked hard their whole lives and only at the very end of finding themselves in a situation where they can no longer work because of ill health. There's also Melissa, a single mum in her 30s, receiving the single parenting payment. Currently, it has allowed her to put some extra money into her utility bills and mortgage, a bit of a financial buffer. So not wasting it like some in the government are suggesting, but getting ahead. One of the main reasons why she said that was she was always sceptical of this government. She didn't believe it would continue. So she's got ahead in her bills, she's got ahead in her mortgage. She at least is looking forward to this Christmas because it is the first time she will not have to turn to family for extra money, but does worry about what happens next year when this when this government does wind back the support. For Melissa, she is concerned because whilst she has a 6-year-old and she's not currently receiving child support, that's another battle. She says that the extra buffer means that she is able to get ahead in her bills, as I've said, and put a bit of money aside for the car and house insurance, so that way she's able not to stress about money this Christmas. Then there's also Sharon, who's an older woman who was facing homelessness. Just before the rise, she had been couch surfing and, having run out of options of staying with friends, was booked in to stay at the Castlemaine Caravan Park, pitch a tent with all of her worldly possessions that she had during the middle of winter, Deputy Speaker. But then the rate came in and it meant that she could actually afford a bond. She could afford to rent. She is now doing work, now that she's secured accommodation. She's had some work as a COVID patient screener and is working with her employment agency on further work opportunities. She is keen to work and willing to give anything a go that she has the skills for. She's got the confidence now and the optimism. The people like Sharon are the very people we want to see helped. And with a decent rate of job seeker, they can get the help. It's about allowing people and families to secure the basics, a home, food security, transport security, so that they've got the confidence to go out and apply for the jobs. It means that they can do the extra training as required to get the jobs that exist. It seems like common sense to me, but the bill that we have before us isn't common sense. The bill before us is cutting support way too soon, impacting businesses in so many local areas and impacting individuals. I strongly urge the government to consider the amendments being put forward by Labor. This is an opportunity to rewrite a wrong. If you really want to see our country rebound stronger and more secure post this pandemic and this recession, invest in those in our community who are doing it the tough. The people who are unemployed before the pandemic and the people who've become unemployed during the pandemic. They're the people right now who will secure our long-term recovery. If they've got a decent support rate of income, they will have the means to be able to afford their rent, afford their food, afford their transport, afford the extra costs that may come with retraining for the jobs that we have. And as I've stated, it will also help secure the thousands of local jobs and small businesses in our community, relying on these people to have a higher rate of support. It just makes economic and social sense to have a decent rate of job seeker. I do not want this country or these individuals to go back to the old rate of New Start. That destined people to poverty. That did create an underclass of Australians who were struggling. It became a mindset of trying to survive, day to day trying to survive. Can I afford my rent? Which bill will I pay this month? Which bill will I get extended? It pushed people into poverty that didn't need to be. It was poverty by design, by a government that was determined to be cruel. And it's nonsense. This suggestion by some industry and some employers that a higher rated job seeker keeps people from applying for jobs is nonsense. Those employers who are looking for workers should look at the jobs that they're offering, should look at the training that they're offering, should look at the job agencies and are the job agencies sending them the appropriate people. If you've got a job that's not filled during this pandemic and this recession, we need to look at the employment industry. We need to look at employment services. Simply cutting job seeker will not find you the workers that you need. Another point that this government misses. It's very, very, very simple rhetoric. It's very, very, very lazy rhetoric to suggest that a lower rate of job seeker will force people into the jobs that they have. I again urge the government, on behalf of the people in my community, the 10,000 or so currently receiving the supplement, give them a happy Christmas and a new year, one where they can feel safe and secure going forward. Keep the higher rate of the coronavirus supplement. lock in an ongoing job seeker rate that is livable, that gives people the dignity, the respect and the means to look for work, and retain the ongoing powers to make sure that we have fair income tests, fair eligibility criteria, and tapering rates that are fair, that ensure that more people have the means to look for work, good work, and can secure their future and their children's future.
I thank the honourable member.